Hi, this is Wes Fryer. It is April the 9th, 2014, and our small group at church has been using Paul Burns' book Prayer Encounters as a study book for the past year. And we just thought we would share a few stories or lessons learned or takeaways from our time together in the small group. We have been a small group. We've got 5 of us here tonight. Maybe we've had 8 at the most, or I don't even know if we got to 10. But we've met on Wednesday nights, and we've taken a chapter each week. And early on, we might have read them in advance, but as we kind of got into it, we ended up reading them during class. And so we'll just talk a little bit about what we've taken away from this class.
Hi, I'm Shelley, and I've been in the small group using Paul Burns' Prayer Encounters book, and I think one of the things that really touched me was Paul talks about while he was still in seminary in Dallas, he was working in a hospital, and frequently he was called to the NICU units, and he worked a lot with families who had children who were sick, and I think those stories, of course, as a mother, really touched me. And some of them ended happily, and others not so much. But I think through all of that, the power of prayer and just the testimony of praying with families and going through difficult times, but also being able to see God's purpose and God's plan. And right now I have a friend whose baby is having a lot of difficulties, premature baby, and I don't know, that really, it makes a big difference, and it shows that, you know, one of my roles that I believe fully in is to pray through those situations for God's will to be done, and it's one of those things that was really important to me as I was reading those chapters.
Hi, I'm Julie, and I've also been coming on Wednesday evenings doing prayer encounters. And one of the things that I took away from the class was when you're with a friend and they're having a crisis or a situation, and you usually would say something like, "I'll remember you in my prayers," and you put it off and you wait till later, and sometimes you forget and it just doesn't get done. So we learned that it's better to just stop whatever you're doing, even if you're in Walmart or wherever the case may be, and just pray right then and there with that person. And then he also had said that he's never been turned down when he's offered to pray with somebody else, even if they weren't a believer. Sometimes I think it's a good way to break the ice. You don't really know what to say to some people that you'd like to witness to, but I was encouraged by the fact that he said he's never been turned down when he's offered to pray with someone. So I encourage you to think about that, and just maybe that's just a good way to break the ice with someone, is just to say, hey, would you like to pray about that? And so thank you very much.
So my biggest takeaway from Prayer Encounters was definitely what Julie also said, and that was to pray with people right away. I don't know why, but in all the sermons that I've heard growing up and being an adult and different classes, that was a message that I don't think I'd ever heard. And I got to meet Paul last May at our Mo Ranch Men's Conference, and he had shared that little bit about the book, that was a real focus. And so there are multiple people in, and I guess they're in our church. Maybe I haven't been doing this with people outside our church, but I certainly have, asked that question, how can I pray for you? And then I've followed up with, well, could we say a prayer now? And nobody has, turned that down. Oh, no, that's okay. I don't need the prayer. And I think that it drives home how valuable that is, because you do it right away and you do it together, and the importance of intercessory prayer and how we're called to do this. I mean, this is something that we're supposed to do as Christians. And this book really was filled with good stories about prayers answered, and prayers answered in the ways that we're hoped for, and sometimes in different ways. But it was a real encouragement to be people of prayer and to change our behavior. And behavior is a hard thing to change, and this actually did change some of my behavior, and I look forward to continuing to share this with others and doing this with others. It's been great.